All right, so today I would like to talk about 7 things that you need to know when managing people, whether you hire people, you have people working for you. I want to give you 7 things that I've learned from my experience working with over 100 different people at the same time in my company. Those are kind of the things that stood out, the kind of lessons that I've learned by often being burned more than once because I didn't observe some of these things. So I thought that this could really help you if you're about to hire some new people, if you're managing people already. So the number one thing I would say is never work with family or friends. Now, it's pretty funny hearing from me because I'm a product of a family business. I worked in a family business for 10 years, but actually that's what's given me maybe the credibility to say do not hire family or friends. The reason being, it will never work perfectly for either of you. You see, when you hire your family and you become their boss, you'll never be able to ask maximum efficiency. You can never push them to work as hard as you would push other staff to work. You can never really ask them to go that extra mile because there's still that relationship between you which can never really be a purely working relationship. Now, for them, it doesn't really help either because a lot of the time when you have family working for you, they feel like they owe you something. They're trying to help you. You need them, and maybe they're not following their dreams. Maybe they're not doing what they want to be doing just for the sake of helping you out because, we're family. So be very, very careful. It's a very, very slippery relationship, and actually it works the same way with friends. When you work with friends, you cannot be as tough on them, or you cannot be as equal with them as with other people. So I suggest keep the relationships, work in the relationships, keep it outside of work. It will always work better in the end. Number 2, be very careful. Do not get too close to your employees. What I mean by that is every company has those, superstar employees. People that do a little bit more, a little bit extra, they're a little faster than everybody else, they're a little better, they really get the job done. And it's very easy to want to motivate these people a little bit more. You invite them to functions, you sometimes get close, you invite them to personal events, but trust me, in my experience, it never ever ends as you think it will. People do not accept these sort of nice gestures from you just as a nice gesture. They're always thinking, why did you do that? They're always judging some of the moves you make. You invite them to a fancy dinner, when they look at how you spend money, at the people you hang around with, people that are coming to talk to you, they always have this sort of feeling that, I'm doing all the work. Why is he in that situation? There's very, very often this kind of feeling between you and that person. And it's something that's really not necessary. It's something that kind of ruins the relationship. So motivate your employees, the star employees, pay them better, send them on a trip, do something nice for them, but don't get too close personally because it will ruin your relationship later on. Remember, the people that leave your company are never the kind of people that come to your company. They always leave a little bit more upset or unhappy or feel that maybe you haven't done everything that you could for them. True story. Now, the third thing I would like to talk to you about is going back to those star employees. You see, there's some people who are excellent at one thing. And when you have an opportunity to promote them, or you have an opportunity to give them something else to do, you feel that just because they were excellent in that one thing, most likely they will be also excellent at something else. It does not work that way. And in reality, when you're pushing an employee, you're pushing somebody to do something else that they're not comfortable with doing, you're actually ruining their self-esteem a little bit, because while they were excellent at what they used to do, when they become mediocre or they're not really managing with this new task you gave them, because not everybody is born to do everything, they do not feel that great about themselves anymore. Their productivity goes down, their efficiency goes down, and you become disappointed in people where in reality that person hasn't done anything wrong. You just put them in the wrong place because you felt that if they're great at one thing, they will also be great at something else. So people are meant to do what they're good at. Do not assume that they can do anything just because they're good at one thing. Number 4 kind of relates to number 3, is you have to understand that people do not really change. If somebody is constantly late, most likely, regardless of what they'll tell you, they will continue to be late. So you either have to learn to deal with it, stop complaining about it, or fire that person and get somebody that comes to work on time. You know, if you catch somebody cheating, if you catch somebody stealing, I've tried to give people second chances. It really didn't work. People that I caught stealing small things, you know, just 3-4 months later, they forget all about it. And the next time you catch them, they're already stealing more, they're stealing bigger things. And I didn't even feel, you know, a sense of remorse or regret. All of that is to say that people really do not change. So either accept them and deal with the consequences, or don't wait, don't, people say give a second chance. Yes, but at work, with some things, really you shouldn't give people a second chance. If you feel like this is something that you cannot accept, deal with it right away. Finish it so that it doesn't spread, because negative things tend to spread among employees if you don't, cut it out like a cancer. Number 5, it is not always about the money. Now, I know money is important and people come to work for you. They would like to make sure that their quality of life improves as they work with you. All of it is true, and I get that. But trust me, more and more people are looking for a mentor. They're looking for an organization that stands for something. They're looking to make a difference. They're looking to spend their time somewhere where their opinion is valued, where their opinion matters. So it's not always about the money, and I'll tell you even more. A lot of the time, people are coming asking you, I want a raise, I need this, I need that. Trust me, people always need less than they ask for. And if you can give them an argument why, you can't have it all right away, you can't have it at all, you can't have it all right away, this is what we're doing, I really value what you're doing here, this is where we're going, let's do this together. People will agree to work for less as long as they understand what they're doing it for and why they're doing it. So it's not always about the money. Number 6, having said that it's not always about the money, it's very important that you never mess with your employees' money. What I mean by that is, never delay a salary payment. I've ran a business, businesses are going through good times, businesses are going through bad times. At the bad times, I always had to make a decision about what invoices I pay, what invoices I do not pay. But one thing was very, very clear. You can never be late with paying your employees, because the moment you start doing that, they will lose their faith in your entire organization, in anything that you tell them, in anything that your organization stands for. So it's very important. Choose your bills, manage your cash flow, but never ever let your employees work without getting paid. They should be the first one to get paid. And finally, number 7, something that you may not very much like to hear, but the truth is, when there's conflict with employees, and eventually, if your organization grows, if you're expanding, if you're doing business, if you're successful, those conflicts will be inevitable. But one thing for you to remember, when there's a conflict with an employee, the law, 99% of the time, is not on your side as an employer. Just the way that the laws are built, it's not something bad, it's just something that you need to understand, that if you have some sort of a conflict with an employee and you choose to go the legal way, know that the law is very rarely on your side as an employer. So if you can settle things amicably, it's always the better choice. Now, those are 7 things that, I've learned, things that have definitely served as a lesson to me in the way I do business in the future. But in reality, just one thing to remember, I think it's pretty basic. Motivate your employees, respect your employees, be kind with them, but be tough with them as well. As long as everybody understands what the business is doing, what the vision is, and what are the rules of the game, you should not have any problems. I hope this helps.